Sing. Give the look more than equal. There we go. Okay, now it's time to introduce our very special guests for a very, very important conversation. So, introducing, first up, is Ella Lloyd, McLaren F1 Academy driver. Welcome to the stage, Ella. Lou McEwen, CMO of McLaren Racing. Lauren Furrow, Head of Development at More Than Equal. Now it's time for our drivers, Sky Parker, More Than Equal Development Driver. And last but not least, another More Than Equal Development Driver, Yvonne Simonova. Thank you so much for joining me on the stage, and thank you to an amazing audience that we've got here. So, Lou, starting off with you, McLaren has made bold moves to support women in motorsport. So what does this mean to the team? Why is this so important to McLaren?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. As McLaren Racing, we've set ourselves a target of setting the highest standard for diversity and inclusion in sport. And actually by 2030, we want to commit to having over 40% of our team coming from underrepresented backgrounds, and of course, females being a huge part of that. You know, we work in a high performance sport where 0.7 of a second win us world championships. We work in milliseconds and microns. So we need diversity of thought to always push innovation and stay at the front. And you know, representation is everything. I think, you know, we often say that you've got to see it to be it. So how fantastic to be joined up on stage today with this gang, hopefully inspiring many of the girls here today. It's fantastic to see so many female faces in the crowd.
It's amazing, honestly, the support from the audience right now is absolutely beautiful. But you're also backing the amazing Ella Lloyd here in F1 Academy. How do you see, we love this, so much energy for you, Ella. Wow. How do you see programs like this making that lasting impact? Wow, the support is amazing, Ella. This is so beautiful. Lou, honestly, yeah, it's taken us all by
I can't remember the question. What was it again?
So how do you see programs like F1 Academy making a lasting impact off and on track?
I think Formula One Academy is fantastic. We're lucky enough to have the amazing Ella representing McLaren in the series. She's already made a mark already, adding to our silverware. Ella was on the podium at Jeddah this year, and then also got some more silverware in Canada. So she's already very much of the McLaren family. If you haven't checked it out, the Formula One Academy has got a great new series on Netflix, following on from Drive to Survive. If you want to learn more about F1 Academy, I'd encourage you to log on and follow the series. It's fantastic.
Definitely, if you haven't seen it, please go out there and watch it. Lauren, coming over to you now, obviously Head of Driver Development at More Than Equal. You have the goal of finding the next Formula One female world champion. How is your approach different?
So we're different in a couple of ways, and it is a huge mission, so it requires a different solution. So we don't want to be a tale of female adversity in motorsport. We want to be about female success stories. And we aren't a race series, so we're not like F1 Academy, and we're not a race team like McLaren. We don't run cars, we don't have engineers. We are a data-led, high-performance female driver development program, and research is at the heart of everything that we do. So you heard on the video earlier that we've done one of the largest studies in the Inside Track report on attitudes towards females in motorsport, because we want to understand what it is that we need to do to get a female to the very top, and why there hasn't been one in the last 50 years. So we've taken that research, we're building upon that with our program, and the second part that's different is that we know female bodies and the female experience in motorsport is different. So from the fact that they may start later or have different experiences in the car, physically with how the car drives, we want to make sure that we're preparing our drivers to tackle all of those barriers so that they can perform at the highest level. And ultimately, with the data, all of our decisions are data-led. We're building an evidence base that all female drivers can then follow. And it was a really hotly debated topic when we started out. Do we try to find one single female Formula World champion, or do we try to build a system for all that can follow? And we want the latter. We want to really change the game. We want... Something's happening over there. And we're really grateful to the support of Allwyn and our sponsors in supporting us to do so.
I mean, it is data-led, so you kind of already answered my question there, but how do you build a plan to build a high-performance athlete, and how do you bridge that gap, especially in the female sector?
So ultimately, we want to have the most prepared drivers, prepared to deliver in the demands of the environment, and that can maximise their potential. We do so in a couple of ways. So we work with drivers as an athlete, as a person, and as a performer. So as an athlete, we want them to be physically ready for the demands and the forces and the strength required to get into the car and take the maximum out of it. From a performer, we want them to be equipped with the technical skills and knowledge and understanding of racecraft, of car dynamics, and all the things that lead to really high performers. And then as a person, the resilience, the skills, the behaviours that go around the environment that help them to be successful and to thrive, not just survive through that process.
Well, clearly doing a fantastic job so far. Now moving on to our More Than Equal development drivers. Sky, coming to you first, what have you learned in More Than Equal that you probably wouldn't learn anywhere else? Obviously, I've had the pleasure of being with you drivers quite a few times, so what have you learned so far?
Well, for one, we have improved media training to do events like this, and very grateful to be here. Thank you for having us.
The love for our drivers.
As well, we do have things called a Hinsa coach, which is basically a personal trainer, and we have a specified training program that we have to follow, otherwise they won't be happy with us. So just that in general, really.
And the same question for you, Yvonne, what have you learned with More Than Equal?
Well, first of all, I'll say it's a pleasure and an honor being in the program. We do a lot of physical trainings, like Guy said. We do nutrition, and just like More Than Equal is trying to prepare us for the next step of our racing career and like being the best driver we can possibly be.
And we can see those media sessions coming in handy, obviously, now being on the big stage.
Thanks to you.
Thank you, I'll take it. Yvonne, then tell me about what's a typical week of training look like for you?
Well, typically almost every day in the gym, doing either strength sessions or running sessions. When we have race weekend, me and my family like review the race, like how it's going to be, plan strategies and everything, like calculating the points. And then on Thursday mostly we travel, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday racing. We do dances with the team and like review how everything's going to be just.
And Sky, same question to you, obviously both based in different countries, so is that similar training routine, training week, or is it different?
It's more or less similar, to be honest. Like, I have my program I do pretty much every day except for Sunday, and well, there's really no such thing as a typical weekend because it's a bit everywhere. Like, we're here, I should be in school, not. And then, oh, sorry, can you repeat the question?
What is a typical training week? Not typical training week, not like you, Sky.
Yeah, so pretty much run and strength every day, and then the race weekend, it's travel on Wednesday, and then Thursday test, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday race.
I love that, she's meant to be in school. We all want to get off school. There's a perfect reason to leave. You can say you're on the stage at the McLaren Racing Live event. I mean, what a reason to be off school. Ella, coming over to you now, obviously with McLaren in F1 Academy, that comes with so much expectation. How have you found the season so far?
Yeah, I think the season's been pretty well. Maybe didn't start off on the right foot at Shanghai, but I think since then, made a step forward, had a win, and I've had 3 P2s last time out to Canada. So I think we've just progressed throughout the season. Consistency is definitely there now after Canada, so I think, just keep pushing forward, trying to get the results, the podiums, the wins. So yeah.
Really representing McLaren fantastically. What does your sort of training week look like, and also how do you prepare mentally and physically for races? I mean, I'm going to take all the tips I can get, so I'll be getting my arms licensed soon. Maybe join you on the track. I think I'm too old. So, tell me, what does that look like for you? How do you mentally and physically prepare for those races?
Yeah, physically prep, obviously in the gym, doing strength and cardio. Most days, maybe have one day off a week. But then also on the sim as well, learning the track if I've never been there before, or just, you know, you can fine tune the setup as well before we go to the track. So like when we went to Canada, we had one free practice. So you really got to nail it before we go out or in that one free practice. So yeah, you just got to make sure everything's on point, and obviously like the media stuff needs to be prepared for all that. So yeah, I think that's it really, and obviously like the travelling, the circuits and that, because most of the F1 Academy races are pretty far away, so you got to make sure that you're flown in early enough to recover for then the race.
Well, you always seem very cool, calm and collected. I think that definitely helps as well going into those races.
Yeah.
Lauren, coming back over to you now, if there's any young girls or parents in the audience and they want to know, how can I get my daughter into motorsport, what would you say?
So firstly, we know how important it is to have more females taking part in karting and racing and those entry levels. So most people tend to start at indoor karting, so your local karting track, your rental car, and then progress on from there onto outdoor karting, and then into the single-seaters like Ella and the F1 Academy girls, and our girls are learning to race. My message to you would be, if you're thinking about doing it, go and give it a go. It's fantastic. There are now more role models and it's more accessible than it has ever been. But also, if the speed isn't for you, please don't stop at that. Please do join our journey, follow these drivers and the fantastic challenge that they're taking on to change the face of motorsport.
And a very similar question now for our drivers as well. What advice, from a driver perspective, can you give to young girls wanting to enter the sport or having that dream of getting to Formula One?
Yeah, I think, like myself, I started quite late, so it doesn't really matter if you're a little bit older. You know, if you want to go try it, you know, you don't know if you're going to enjoy it until you go try it. So I would say just go have a go, take any opportunity that comes your way, and yeah, if you enjoy it, you know, you push hard for what you want, and that's what we all do. If we want something, we push hard for it. So yeah, that's my advice.
That's very true. I joke that I'm too old, but I am actually doing a lot more racing now than I did when I was younger. So same question to our drivers at More Than Equal. Sky, starting with you, what advice would you give to young girls wanting to enter the motorsport industry?
Well, unlike Ella, I started quite young. Sat in my first go-kart when I was 4 and did my first race just before I turned 6. But to be honest, I feel like all you really need is a really good work ethic. Like, you need to have your bit of a structure. Like, before you go to a race weekend, just plan, you know, sim, I need to know the track, watch onboards, and that's really, and a bit of luck and a bit of talent, and that's all really to it.
Exactly, and the same question for you, Yvonne.
I think probably like if you really want to do it, you should actually do it, because you have to have your confidence in you, and if you have the confidence, you can do anything you want. And I think also one of the biggest like points is you have to like focus on the process and everything. Just like take your time. Nothing is going to come in the first week or month. Like everything needs time together to take the best step.
Exactly, there are so many entry points into motorsport now, and obviously we're talking about motorsport's future. It's being built today, and it's being built differently. With Allwyn powering More Than Equal, McLaren leading the way from within on our rising stars like Ella, Sky and Yvonne, showing that it is very, very possible. We're not just talking about it, we are driving change. If you want to learn more about More Than Equal, head to morethanequal.com. But now, please give it up for our amazing guest, Ella